Well, it's time now to welcome a man who's one of the fathers of modern mixed martial arts and played a major role in putting the UFC on the international stage. But his life influence over the sport of MMA did not stop there. This man opened up one of the first mixed martial arts gyms here in Las Vegas and is a big part of the next generation of champion fighters. And this annual endeavor that he spearheaded is much, much more than that. It's even altruistic. It's the Extreme Couture GI Foundation Operation Knockout taking place Saturday, November 2nd at the downtown Las Vegas Event Center. This man is former UFC light heavyweight champion, Randy, the Natural Couture. Man, how you doing, bud?
Yeah, brother, how are you? Good to see you.
Yeah, I'm doing well. First 13th round. Like how?
13th round, yes. This is our 13th year doing this event with Tuff-N-Uff.
Yeah.
It's been great. It's been a huge event for us, obviously because of my connection to MMA and the gym, and then obviously my roots in the military. And so we're killing two birds with one stone here. We're giving Tuff-N-Uff does a great job. My son Ryan fought, Rousey, so many really, really good fighters have made their way through those amateur ranks and into the pro ranks. And they give those guys a great outlet to display their wares and show everybody what they're about. Get their feet wet, see where their strengths and weaknesses are. And they match those amateur fighters up very, very well. Which is very difficult to do. It's not an easy thing to do. So they do that great. And then all the ticket sales from this event on Saturday go to my foundation, a 501c3 for wounded combat veterans.
Okay.
So we're killing two birds with one stone.
Yeah.
Moving forward with our MMA youngsters that are trying to get out there and make a name for themselves and helping some of our wounded veterans.
No, absolutely. And something that people may not know, but I want to make sure it's out there. You guys give like 100% of what you guys get to.
We do.
Other than what you pay for the event or whatever.
It's my gym staff already work for me, so we don't have any overhead.
Yeah.
So we're a 100% give back organization, which is rare in the 501c3 space.
No, absolutely. It absolutely is.
And we're proud of that. I think that's what charity is all about. It's certainly something that's near and dear to my heart after serving and taking that oath at 19 years old. That's not a switch you just turn back off.
This is true. This is true.
And so I get a chance now to use the platform I built through fighting to raise awareness about some of our men and women that are struggling, both internally and externally. So it's dear to me for sure.
And something else that I know that you do, you work with mental health with fighters and former veterans as well. You still doing that with the training over at Extreme Couture?
MVP every Friday. Any retired athlete in any sport or any veteran in this community is free to come to our gym for free, work out, and sit in what we call a huddle. After we do 30, 45 minutes of workout, sweat, kind of break down those walls, create that connection, and we sit and huddle, and the demons and things that come out in that huddle are amazingly powerful. Peer-on-peer counseling, we speak the same language. It's a safe place for you to let that stuff out. And I guarantee you there's somebody in the circle that struggled with and been in that spot too, and there's nothing more powerful than that. Seeing one brother help another brother get through something that's tough. So MVP's been amazing as well.
That's beautiful. That's really beautiful. Something I wonder about, obviously you have a family, children as well, but is this something that I would assume is like one of the more things that you do that make you very, very proud?
Absolutely. Finding a way to give back, to pay it forward, to contribute to a community that literally set the foundation for my view of the world and where I ended up. 19 to 25, wearing that uniform, it changed me forever, and I don't think I'd ever go back. And so now to give back to that community, be able to help and influence in a positive way so many folks that took the same oath I took and had to put their butts on the line, frankly. I never did. It was a Cold War when I was in the Army, 82 to 88.
Okay.
So I always jokingly say I'm a Cold War veteran.
A Cold War veteran.
But and my first duty station was Germany. Worried about the Soviet Union coming over the border. We went through those free forger exercises and all that, but I did all that training and all that stuff, but I never really had to put it on the line.
I got
Unlike so many of our men and women now since 9/11.
I would assume like some of the conversations you have with some of these veterans and just the thanks that they give you, it's got to be extremely emotional.
It is. I get to go out to the hospital every year as part of how we started. The staff there helps us identify folks that need the financial hand up. And so I go and sit in a room with last year 16 families, and I got to put a $10,000 check in each one of those families' hands. And that is a very, very emotional day. Now, they don't know why I'm there. They just seem some knobby-eared guys coming to say hi, and I don't tell them there's no media, none of that. It's not about that. It's about helping those folks out. And so then they get this check and they freak out, and then that makes me emotional. It's one of those days, but it's a great day, honestly.
Yeah. No, those are good tears that come out. I could just imagine It's just like when children have like their Make-A-Wish or something like that.
Yep,
Like just like the kind of emotion like is fantastic. Now this is something I had to write this down, but this isn't the only thing that you do for veterans. Like we talked about the huddle that you guys have at Extreme Couture, but Operation Ride is something that you do as well. The Quad Cities, that's all. We had Everett, one in Dallas, and everything else. So that's something else.
Well, it started here with the motorcycle poker run here in Las Vegas.
Okay.
We just had our 16th year doing that. That was one of our very first events, and there's an affinity between soldiers and motorcycles.
Gotcha.
That's been going on since World War II. And those rides have become a huge staple for the foundation. I think we had over 400 bikes come out in May to our Vegas ride, and we raised almost $90,000.
Wow.
For the foundation. So,
wow.
And then we, my friends and people that I know well had been coming to the Vegas ride, like, man, we need to do one of these in Everett where you grew up. We need one of these in Quad Cities where I grew up. We have a lot of vets there.
Okay.
We just added Dallas to the mix. This year was our first year in Dallas. We had one in Cocoa Beach, Florida for a couple of years. We did it in Fort Benning a few times, 5 or 6 times. So
Jeez.
it, again, getting a little traction, spreading out nationally, getting word out there, helping more veterans, and making more money is what it's all about.
Wow, that's okay. What kind of bike do you ride?
I'm on a Harley, on a
You get a
road
Harley?
glide. Yeah, I had a Road King forever. I kind of rode that one into the ground.
Okay.
And traded it in 2020 on this road glide, which is like a flying couch. It's amazing.
A flying couch, huh?
Yeah, it's
just
awesome.
super comfortable.
Very comfortable.
Okay. You ever rode those big choppers with you ever tried
The
those?
ape hangers?
Yeah.
I don't like those. Man, my hands fall asleep.
I don't understand how folks could ride those.
They look cool, but
They do look very cool. They look very cool, but not a couch though.
no, definitely not a couch like that.
I gotcha. Now this is something that a lot of people may know. They have to know. You've done a lot of movies, like Sly Stallone, everybody else. You've done a lot of movies.
It's a door that opened because of athletics in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
We got a call from the UFC. Hey, Cradle of the Grave, they're making this movie with Jet Li and DMX.
I remember that
Me,
movie.
Chuck, and Tito all got that call. We're all
You were in that movie?
In that movie, yeah. One line. I can't say that line on TV.
Oh, okay, yeah. We have FCC. We can't have you doing that here.
So, but it was an eye opener for me. I'd always been a movie watcher, a movie goer since I was a small boy. Never saw myself in front of the camera.
Yeah.
And now, I've spent my whole life as an athlete, boxing up my emotions, putting them to the side, and staying laser focused on what I trained to do. Now they want me to walk in the front of the camera and let all that out. And I was like, I don't know if I know how to do that.
Now you do a good job at it, though.
I'm having fun, and I feel like every time I put myself out there, I learn a little more about the process and the whole thing. So I've done over 73 or 74 feature films.
Oh, you've done. No, I know. I recently saw one that you did with Michael Jai White, where you were a bad guy.
The hard way.
Yeah, the hard way. What's it like playing like that kind of a person?
It's actually fun. I mean, you get to say and do things you would never do in real life. I mean, that's the beauty of acting. I just played an absolute psycho in one in August.
Yes.
Called Pitfall. I'm running around the woods hunting campers and
that one. Yeah, I haven't seen that one.
It hasn't come out yet.
Okay,
it's
okay.
in post-production now.
Okay.
But I was excited about it. It was a fun one.
Hold on, they had the previews out for it already?
I think the poster has hit the market, but the film's nowhere near being ready to show to anyone.
So you got a little Jack Nicholson, here's Johnny kind of thing
going
on?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. Now, I absolutely wonder what your take is on this. From where you started with the UFC and just MMA in general, to see where it's at now, I mean, you having a gym, like your son kind of running the gym now and just him going through it, fights in Abu Dhabi, you doing PFL, you know what I mean? Like, could you ever, like in your wildest dreams, imagine that mixed martial arts would be what it is now?
No, we were very worried in the early days of the sport. It was kind of a freak show. There wasn't a lot of rules.
Yeah.
It seemed like a new rule every time we had a show almost.
Oh yeah, you can't do that anymore.
And there was a huge backlash politically and socially against our sport. We're human cockfighting and gladiator games and all this other stuff again, which wasn't really true. We're all martial artists who are grounded in our style and our sport, and this fledgling kind of hybrid sport grew out of those early days of the UFC, and I was happy to be a part of that movement. It's become the combative sport for this generation now, globally, not just here in the U.S. Not the Japanese market, the American market, and the Brazilian market were very, very strong, but now it's all over Europe. It's everywhere, and I think that's a sign. We ran towards regulation. We wanted to see this sport accepted and become mainstream and become normal.
Yeah.
And we've been doing boxing for well over 100 years.
This is true.
So this is another form of combative sports. Obviously, there's 4 or 5 combative sports in the Olympic Games. You take all of those and roll them all up into one, and you have mixed martial arts.
Yeah. Do you ever imagine that it being in the Olympics?
I think there's a movement to see pancration, which
Yeah.
was the ancient version in the ancient games, brought back. I think there's over 35 or 36 countries that have signed a petition to try and bring pancration back to the Olympics. So
Okay.
it would be, I'm sure, like boxing is and taekwondo is, a little bit of watered down version of what we do professionally.
Yeah.
You know, boxing has the white stripes on the gloves. Well, they've been moving away from that now in boxing.
Yeah,
Like
I
the
know.
headgear and the protective gear. So I think it would be a similar thing in MMA, but it absolutely should be an Olympic sport.
No, I agree. I agree. And really, one more time, can we please tell everyone why they should support? It's obvious why they should support, but Operation Knockout coming up this weekend.
Yeah, some great fights. There'll be 10 fights on the card. Tuff-N-Uff does an amazing job with Jeff Meyer to organize and match those fighters up well. We have one grappling match, one Muay Thai bout, and then 8 mixed martial arts bouts.
Okay.
Downtown Las Vegas Event Center. That was a scramble today. We were going to originally do this at Harley, and I'm sorry, Harley. They've been great to the foundation for the rides and everything, and literally gave us their showroom to do these fights, and then we found out the zoning wasn't proper, and we had to move it. So,
I gotcha.
Hats off to them for stepping up and trying to help
and
us
being
out,
a great sponsor for a long time as well.
Absolutely.
And if anyone wants to donate or buy a ticket, there's a
Event Tix or xcgif.org. That's the foundation website. You can go to either one of those places and get tickets. I think there's $35 tickets, $50 tickets, and $75 tickets.
Gotcha.
Downtown Las Vegas Event Center is going to be great. It's a huge tent there, and there's not a bad seat in the house. So
there's not.
It's going to be fun.
There you go. You may get a chance to meet this guy, Randy the Natural Couture. You still go by the Natural?
Those nicknames don't go away.
Yeah, I didn't think so. I'm going off memory because I was like, he probably doesn't even go by that anymore, but still.
You never pick your own nickname.
This is true.
They slapped that handle on me and it stuck, and I've been called a lot worse things. So
There we go. Operation Knockout coming up November 2nd. I appreciate you coming in. Thank you very much.
I appreciate you.